I am a 26-year-old male who has never been in or should I say, an official relationship before. A lot of you guys may be looking at me right now, bro. What are you talking about, bro? You're an absolute Chad, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You've never been in a relationship. Are you serious? Is that even possible for someone like you? Yes, bro. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it has to just do with who I am as a person, though. I'm not somebody who likes the idea of being tied down, honestly. Something about that just really irks me the wrong way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, in general. Like, whenever I see couples and stuff like that, I think it's a pretty normal thing. And I think it's, it can be cute. And you can be like, okay, this, there you go. That shit looks pretty fun type shit, right? But I'm just saying for me, like, it's just not been something that's been all that attractive. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of this ties into just how I was brought up. So for the majority of my childhood, I was raised in a single parent household. As an only child, and for the most part, that's just what I was used to. I was used to having my own space, doing my own thing, not having to or not getting the chance to really experience that. Um, Dynamic of man woman relationship with the kids and stuff like that that you would see on like Disney or all those other fucking networks that would promote that type of family dynamic and stuff like that, right? So just given my situation, it was just never something that I aspired towards. Now, do I have a problem with it? No. I think if it were to come naturally, I would be open, but at the same time, I just know there are a couple of things that I would have a problem with. Number one, having to share a space with somebody. You know what I'm saying? I think I am more in my element when I can go back to my crib and recharge and then get to meet the girl that I'm messing with the next day, but not having to live with that person. Right. I feel like once we start sharing that space, there's a little bit of that mystery that I like that starts to evade, right? Because now you see everything I'm doing. I see everything you're doing. You know what I'm saying? There might be certain habits here and there where, you know what I'm saying, we don't necessarily align in a certain sense. And it can kind of start to deteriorate the relationship. It can deteriorate the attraction you have for the person. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, why even live together type shit. Now I understand if you have kids, it might be easier to just move in together and, raise the kids. But you know what I'm saying like just on some, you know, relationship situation, no kids involved. Why exactly do I need to move in with this person? I don't understand it. And again, I know not everybody in a relationship moves in with one another. And not only that, man, I have to be quite honest. Another reason I've never been in a relationship, honestly, is because I like variety. I really do, man. I like beautiful women. I just do, man. I just do it. And the thing about being in a relationship is like, yeah, you can keep it open, and stuff like that. But I feel like just keeping it open it's a bit of, it's a weird thing, right? Because you never truly authentically know who is actually open to the idea of things being open. Usually it's very rare that both people want things to be open, right? It's usually just one person. And as long as that person's being fulfilled, like he or she may not give a fuck. Whole time the other person that's in that quote unquote open relationship is like, god damn, well, this isn't what they might just be coping, pretending like they like what's going on when in reality they don't really fuck with the whole openness thing. So, um, yeah, I've never really been somebody who wanted to be in an open relationship. I like keeping my options open. I understand that I'm someone who, I mean, ideal world, you know what I'm saying? If I have all the money in the world, I have all the time in the world and stuff like that, would I spend it with one woman realistically? I don't think so, right? I don't think so. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I mean, look at most men who are just either rich, successful, famous, call it what you want. How many of them are truly monogamous people compared to those who feel like they have to uphold some kind of standard, right? And what do I mean by that? I mean, look at someone like Drake, right? Someone like Drake, obviously, well-known guy. Chris Brown as well-known individuals, Future, whatever, right? Rich, quote unquote, successful as far as society's standards of success is concerned. Um, and they have their pick of the litter. Now, a lot of people ask, man, why doesn't someone like Drake settle down? He's fucking damn near 40. Or I don't know, is Drake already 40? I don't know. Chris Brown, same thing. This thing is damn near this and that. Or if they have settled down, it's like, damn, why is such and such always cheating? Well, it's because they have those options, right? They have the options to cheat. A lot of regular people, like average men who are in relationships and, let's say they don't cheat, put them in a position where they're a Drake. Put them in a position where they are a Chris Brown, a Future, fucking LeBron James. Yeah, and I'll get to that LeBron James section in a little bit. Bro, a lot of these people are they're gonna listen. They're gonna do a complete 180, right? Because it's not 360. When people say 360, that's basically you just doing these back in square one, right? No, they're not. They're completely face the other direction. They're gonna be somebody you don't even recognize type shit, right? Um, so yeah, man, it's one of those things where it's like, I see monogamous people. I'm like, damn, if this motherfucker had the right amount of money in his hands and all this other stuff, is he really gonna be monogamous? I don't know. But even those who are monogamous, though, like as far as we're concerned, right? And I'm only gonna use celebrities as an example because these are the only people that everybody kind of just knows, right? I'm not just gonna give you some random person as an example because who knows? You may or may not know this person. But as far as celebrities are concerned, right, when we look at somebody like a LeBron James, people say, oh, well, LeBron James is, he's faithful. There's no fucking reports of him ever cheating and stuff like that. And then to that, I'll say, first of all, we don't know, right? We really don't know. We don't, hey, his program might just be, top notch to where if things did happen, we will never know about it. But even let's say he is just a natural, monogamous guy and stuff like that. I mean, it's part of his brand though, right? Like that, LeBron is somebody who advertises himself to be like a family friendly, modern, model to young men, especially young black men, right? So he kind of holds himself to a standard to where he feels like he needs to uphold a certain image because that's what best fits his brand. So I mean, that's his incentive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if we were in a society where, being monogamous and being in a relationship or being married and stuff like that did not matter, would he be in a monogamous, faithful, a marriage and stuff like that? I'd beg to differ. I don't think so. All right. Because he has all the options in the world. But yeah, man. So being 26, and again, I'm not even in the position of a lot of these guys that I've mentioned, but I am more so in as far as the physique and the looks game, I'm in a position right where I can just say, listen, man, I can't see myself committing to one person. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how it's just been. So yeah, I'm 26 years old, never been in a relationship. Mostly a lot of situationships, a lot of not necessarily one night stands, because I'm not a one night stand type of person. They do happen on occasion, but it's usually with people that I kind of like just fuck with. And if it did happen, it's because I was in a city or a state where like I'm only there for a certain amount of time and we're probably never going to see each other again, just based on the distance and stuff like that, right? Otherwise, usually the people I mess with they're constantly within a rotation to where I'm seeing them maybe once a week, once every other week, sometimes even twice a week. But it's, again, there's no labels on it, because that's just how I prefer it. But I don't know, man. That's kind of my story. I know a lot of people, usually when I see videos similar to this, they were like, oh, I didn't have the option to, or, a woman never gave me a chance or something like that. And I could definitely empathize with that. But, I just wanted to bring a different perspective for people who just don't want to be in a relationship, right? Some people just don't see themselves in that type of situation. I'm somebody who, if I were to have kids, ideally it would be in a situation where I have enough money to take care of myself, the kids, and the potential woman I'm dealing with, right? And if I were to raise the kid, yes, I know it would be essential for two parents to be in a household, but I wouldn't want it like that. So I'd most likely, ideal scenario, I'd have my own house or condo type of situation. And then the woman would be in like a connected fucking condo, townhouse type of thing, right? And the baby would just be within either of our hands, just depending on the scenario. And another thing is establishing me in that scenario. I'm going to be establishing that, hey, you know, let's say I do want to have a kid, because I do want to have a kid, right? My ideal way to have a kid would not necessarily be with somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with, type of thing. It will be with somebody who was like, hey, I think you're attractive. I want to have a kid. I think you have a lot of qualities that would be great in a mother. Um, the genes that you have, are something that I think, if they were mixed in with mine, can potentially create an absolute beast of an individual, right? Whether it be with brains, athletic prowess, whatever. So let's just go ahead, put these two things together, make a kid, make sure that we're in the best scenario to take care of the kids, so that we don't feel like we're just dumping them on earth and, telling them to go figure it out. And that would just be it. So yeah, man. Uh, that's essentially all I have today. Let me know if anything I said was relatable at all. And let me know what your situation is, man. How old are you? Have you been in a relationship before? Have you not been in a relationship before? Plenty of people in our generation are actually aren't dating as much. So it's not rare to see people who aren't in relationships around their mid 20s, or who have never been in a relationship around their mid 20s, early 30s, and things of that nature. In fact, I'd say it's pretty common. So not only that, I do want to also mention one thing, man. For those who do desire to be in a relationship, why is that, right? Because I do have a friend that I know that, he desires to be in a relationship. And I'm like, man, like, why, right? He's like 24. He's like, man, I don't know. Like, it's about that time and stuff like that. And he keeps talking about, I got to get married and stuff like that. And I'm looking at him like, what the hell is this guy talking about, right? But then, as you start to dig, you start to understand that it's an environmental thing, who he surrounds himself by, and the people that's just within his circle. Come to find out, he's the eldest of two other brothers, and his two younger brothers, they're both in relationships. They both are, they all come up from a family where their parents are still married, right? These two brothers have been in long-term relationships for a multitude of years. So he has that feeling of FOMO, in my opinion, where it's like, damn, my younger brother's been in relationships and blah, blah, blah. They've met our parents and this and that. Not only that, coupled with the fact that his parents are probably pressuring him and asking him, hey, when are you going to find a girlfriend and stuff like that? Maybe he has other people in his friend circle that are in relationships. All that kind of just plays a psychological, I don't know if I'd say a toll, but it kind of jumbles the mind a little bit, to where somebody starts saying like, damn, like shit, like, what I'm saying? Maybe I should be in a relationship, and you start trying to go out to look for it, right? So, I'm not going to negate the fact that that's probably taking it's probably playing a part in people who are seeking out relationships, right? So, maybe mine is the opposite, so that's why I don't seek it out. So, anyways, yeah, that's all I got for y'all today, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, and I'm out, bro.